You're not crazy. You're just awakening. And a lot of other people are right now too. You're not the only one, even though it feels like it. I know it can feel like it, but you're really not the only one. Once you have a spiritual awakening, you can't go back to your old identity. The more that you try to go back, the more resistance you put up to the fact that you had this awakening that was almost forced upon you in a way for a reason. Until you really accept that and, actually finally step into the most authentic version of yourself and, let all of your walls down, you're gonna feel like you're suffering because your mind will keep creating suffering because of the experiences of your past, or because you're thinking so far ahead into the future and feeling like it's not going to work out because you don't trust anything. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you try and go back to living your old life and like being the person that you used to be, or at least the person that you used to think you were, because you've realized that you're not your mind. So now you're and like you've probably had many other realizations if you're going through a spiritual awakening, or if you have gone through a spiritual awakening. And then, it's just like every day, depending on where you are, you'll be around other people. You'll just see other people doing things a different way than you because they haven't had that breakthrough. And so you feel like you're the weird one, you're the outcast because you're not falling in line. You're not, doing the things that normal people are doing. You just can't go back. And that is a big reason for the suffering that you experience when having a spiritual awakening. Because at the beginning you feel like, oh, it's so easy. I'm experiencing life in a new way. Everything's great. Everything looks different. But then your old identity starts to try and creep back in. And if you let it back in enough, it begins the cycle of suffering again. And then you realize that the whole reason that you're suffering is because you're still holding on to this identity and image of yourself that you feel you're supposed to be, instead of just creating whatever identity you want to have. And that's what I did originally. I changed my identity, dropped my identity, and said, I can be a YouTuber. I can make videos about stuff that, is kind of weird. But then as I got around some of my old friends and other people, I started to remember like who I used to be. And it made me want to go back to my old identity just so I could fit in, even knowing that that wouldn't really make me happy in the end. And I still know it wouldn't, but sometimes I have the urge to just try and be like everybody else. And I know this YouTube thing could work, but I don't even fully go into it because I'm too scared that I don't know why I don't do it. I think I just worry too much about other people's opinions instead of doing something that I know is what I really want to do and what I will regret not doing in the future if I don't do it. And you might have something like this in your life where it's like you want to pursue it, but you're worried about what other people will think, or you're for some reason just scared to break out of your old identity. You might not even care what anybody else thinks. It's just comfortable to be the same person. But the true joy actually is outside of your comfort zone. It's just not that easy to see that while things are going on. When I look back on all my old videos, I'm so proud of myself for doing that at a time when I was terrified to do it, right? And I'm still kind of scared to do it sometimes. And, I'm more happy that I tried, than I would be if right now I was just starting my YouTube channel. And I think I needed to take a break for a while to kind of go through a lot of the awakening symptoms that were necessary, that I knew were coming. It was just that I was trying to rush my awakening without just accepting what is. And there's a lot more things that I have to get through and let go of. And experience in this life. But if you're at that stage in the awakening where your life kind of feels meaningless, just know that you will find something that gives you meaning again, and you already have what you're looking for within. You're just watching, you're just observing this experience from a deeper level. Don't allow your mind to use you, which is what it tends to do. The present moment is all you ever have. You can't go back and fix the past. You can't really change the future right now, but the decisions that you make in the now will determine your future. But you don't have to worry about it as long as you're making the most of the now moment that you're in. And I've been there where I'll just think of all the things I have to do, and it'll stress me out to the point where I won't even do the one thing that I can do right now, the one thing that I can control right now. It's like you pile on all your problems instead of just taking care of the ones that you could take care of today. All the problems from the past and the future take up so much space in your mind that you can't even accomplish what you set out to do for the day. It's going to be all right. You awaken for a reason. You're supposed to be doing this. You're not crazy. You're just awakening. And a lot of other people are right now too. You're not the only one, even though it feels like it. I know it can feel like it, but you're really not the only one. So I love you all. Peace out. Big things coming.